Hey everybody, Cam Capital here with a video on cannabis stocks. So mainly we're going to focus on Tilray and Aphria, as news was really on Aphria today. But we're also just going to look at the dailies of ACB, Aurora Cannabis, and CGC Cannabis Growth Company, two other big names. But so Tilray today moved all the way up, putting a high at 957, closed at 1932. Or 1957 high, excuse me, closed at 1932, geez, up 9% on the day. On basically news from Bank of America on cannabis stocks, bullish on Tilray Canopy growth, bearish on Kronos, so that's ticker is Kron. I'm not going to talk about it here, but trading high after Bank of America Securities reinstated a buy rating and $23 price target. So I don't know if they had their prior price target on here, but probably an increase. So we have had basically a move up since the bottoming on 420. If we go out to the daily, here we had the big red day on 420 when news came saying the Safe Banking Act is not going to pass through the Senate because they want legalization to happen first. So you got that gap down on Wednesday, and then pretty strong reversal here, right? So gap down, push through the prior low, reclaim the 200 EMA, and then we just been stair-stepping up. So yesterday we got the gap up, pulled back, but we closed above the 23.6% fib, and then today we got that pullback right on market open, and then ripped higher. So you see here we did essentially close the gap. So we had that gap down on Aphria's earnings back on the 9th. Actually, their earnings came out on the 12th, but so there was a gap down over the weekend. But we filled that gap now, right? Gaps windows like to be closed and filled. We did that, right? 19.4 low, closed at 1932, but we poked up to 1957. So we'll have to see how we move going forward here. You can see we did put in a pretty strong base, got through this supply zone the last couple of days. If we can get through $20 supply, kind of lowers out here all the way to about 22, so we could make a quick move back up. Going forward, we'll look at the weekly chart, and you see here kind of had the doji on the weekly last week, green candle next, so that would signal a reversal in trend. So if we can close this week green, probably start stair-stepping back up. So we'll look to see if volume will continue. Last week 74 million, 52 million this week. Target on the weekly obviously is going to be this 9 EMA at 20.18, and that coincides with the decreased volume on daily here. Obviously we got 3 weeks worth of chart pattern history in the past, so that's going to be a little skewed on the week. So we're going to look at Aphria, which is, the chart's going to be pretty similar to Tilray, obviously, as their merger partners. That news on the vote should occur on Friday. So you see here almost an identical chart structure. Got a high 1614, closed at 1602, up 9% on the day. So pullback, held the standard D level that was going to be there at the time as that's moved throughout the day. But again, you got this hammer off the 50. You can call the hammer off the 200 there, hammer off the 50. Another bounce sends us higher. Another entry point could have been the hammer right here off the 9. And then we got hammers of the 9 holding again. So the 9 EMA on the 5-minute chart basically held the entire mid-morning into the afternoon. Then we got our pullback, support off the 22, one push higher, and then somewhat selling off here into after hours for Aphria. If we got to the daily chart, again pretty similar to Tilray, just not as extended, right? Same structure the last couple days last week. And Aphria here also closed the gap, right? The low here 1597, closed that 1602. So Aphria might actually be a little bit more bullish going into tomorrow, as that gap, the window's completely closed with the closing price. And you see here we did have a bigger volume gap as indicated here on the histogram in the 15s, but Aphria also does have more volume closer to it above, right? So pretty big amount of supply in the 17 up into the $18. So look to see if that move it's muted. We're not going to look at the weekly. Weekly is going to look pretty same as Tilray. So with that, we're going to go to ACB just to see their move for the day. Going to be pretty similar to the rest, right? Almost exact same chart structure. So all these cannabis sectors are just moving in unison. Got the daily, quite a bit the same here. Got the 9 curling pretty well. and we looked our setup, so we didn't actually have a gap here. But you see here, tons of supply volume ahead, up at $10. So if we can get up to $10, it's probably where the seller's going to be sitting. Supply is pretty even throughout the nines. So anywhere point in here, we could run into resistance. But looking pretty good for a reversal, especially on the weekly time frame for these stocks, cannabis stocks, going forward. So CGC, had a little bit less of a move on the daily side of things, but again, you're going to see here a little bit more flat, almost the same structure still, just a muted move throughout the week, moving higher, pretty more consolidated from Thursday to Tuesday. But we break out of that channel kind of we were trading in, up to 28.38, close at 28.16. See that here on the daily chart, right? So not as much extension in the past, but pretty big extended down on the 420 news. And so obviously here we weren't able to close above the 61.8 fib at 28.2, so that's going to act as resistance. And we got a lot of wicks above that 28.25 level. And if we get some volume here, you can see volume does kind of drop off above that 28.5. I think these are 50-cent marks. So 28.5 is probably going to be the level where sellers are sitting at. Probably coincides with this 28.75. So we could have a resistance in the mid 28s for CGC going forward. But looks like things are turning around for the cannabis stocks. We'll just look at MSOS, just one last one. It's an ETF, so kind of a mixed blend. Probably a better recovery here on the ETF, sector wide. I think that just shows, right? So 37 up to 42. So that's a 15% move just in the last week for a rebound for the cannabis stocks going forward. So it looks like the momentum could be changing for the green sectors moving forward as the month ends. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which cannabis stock is your favorite? I know I didn't talk about Curaleaf in this video, but that's a popular US-based one. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Appreciate you taking time to watch the videos, and we'll see you in the next one.